Hi, I'm Akhara.
And I'm Rohan Nahar.
Welcome to the Log Take. This week we're discussing the Rashmika Mandanna movie, The Girlfriend, which is essentially like an anti-Kabir Singh or something. I don't know what it is. Anyway, it's not great or good even. Yeah, what do you make of it, Rohan?
Yeah, not good, very on the nose.
Yeah, it's like
And
hammering every point from three different directions if it can.
I don't know who this movie is supposed to be for, like, at all. Because
I mean, it's like a response. Like I mean, it's well intentioned is the only thing, right? That's it. There are a lot of poorly intentioned movies like the one I just mentioned in Indian cinema. So it's on the right side of history is all it can like stand and call for itself, but it's like not a hill you can die for. Be like, oh, this is the cinema that we want.
yeah, I mean, it's the response, whatever it is ironically to Rashmika's own work.
She probably sat down one day and was like reviewing with her agents and like, what have I been doing with my filmography? I think we need to fix your PR crisis.
I don't know, because she very confidently defended the nonsense that was in Animal
Hmm.
when it was time to promote that movie.
Yeah, naturally. Like that's how like I feel like about our most actors are, right? Like whatever they're promoting in that few months, they will swing
Mm.
that way with the wind.
So, like, this is one of those things because it's so deeply connected to external factors,
Hmm.
the movie itself. I don't think it can be viewed as a separate entity simply because of the person that they've cast, and the Telugu movies are particularly bad in
Hmm.
this regard. And
Hmm.
this is a Telugu movie. Probably a lot of people who make those misogynist films will at least be aware of this, if not, if not anything else, they might even watch it. I don't know. So it makes you wonder if there is like an actual ideology behind this, or if it's just like a opportunist sort of thing, that this is a market that we haven't really tapped into, so let's try and do that.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I don't know why I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, but I would like to think at least that it came from a well-meaning. I was like, oh my god, like our cinema is overwhelmed with like male narratives, and to even have like this is what happens, right? Like we have covered movies on this podcast before, where even though the story is about the woman,
Hmm.
the POV is the man, right?
Hmm.
So at least that is not an issue here. It's called The
Yeah.
Girlfriend. It is from Bhuma's point of view. She is clearly the bigger star, which is why they not. Like, that's what happens. Right? The moment you make the movie about the woman, it's like it's impossible to cast a star of her level in the male lead because they will never play like a subservient or a supporting role. It's like men are just like all male stars in India. I feel like are like Dwayne Johnson and like Jason Statham. Like how they were
Yeah.
Fast and Furious का contract. They're like नहीं नहीं हम नहीं कर सकते ये हमारी बस का नहीं
Yeah.
है.
Plus, isme to you also, it's like you're playing second fiddle, but you're also playing the unambiguous villain. The movie is not even trying to be like, acha, maybe this guy had like a bad life or whatever.
Mm.
It's just like, nah, this guy. And from like minute one, you're like, oh my god, it's one of those things, right?
Yeah.
And like the villain has to be like extra villainous, and the girl has to be like almost angelic.
Yeah,
So
she is essentially a saint.
there is no like nuance, forget nuance, but there is no like depth to the character also. We don't really understand why she's behaving in a certain way, or why. I mean, it's left to your imagination, right? Is it like upbringing? Is it like the culture around her? We don't really know.
Yeah, to me,
Why
like,
is
it
the
felt like essentially that she's never actually had a relationship or anything, right? Which is why she just like falls into it. Like it happens almost of her without her accord. She barely consents to it, and the next morning she's already being labeled the girlfriend. Like I'm like, bro, there is a path to this, but because she has no experience of whatever like is happening to her, it's just almost
Sure,
like
but
she's
like, what feels good, what feels bad? Why are we putting ourselves through something that
yeah.
feels bad? There has to be some like motivation to it, other than, you're just stumbling forward in life.
Yeah, it's not like she's like 15 years old, right? It's not like a coming of age movie that you don't know the first time you're getting these feelings. These are people who
Huh.
have completed like their bachelor. This is a master's course. So they're basically 21, 22, possibly.
They're full grown adults, yeah. And especially because her friend sees the dude as a red flag, but she doesn't. So, like, I need to at least know that what is the reason why one person in the same room is viewing the situation differently and not our protagonist. Like, where does she come from? Why?
Hmm.
And I mean, that would just add a little more.
Like, why is she so easily giving into all of it, essentially?
Yeah, I mean, there's no complexity, right? It's
Yeah.
almost as if she is like a zombie,
Yeah, she's
and you
accepted, like,
don't
oh, it's
really.
this is happening to me. Okay, let's go along with it.
एंड थोड़ा-सा रिवर्स मिसोजिनी हो जाता है ना कि यू कैन ओनली like to make a point about how assertive this person can be,
Hmm.
you have to first depict her as
Yeah, I
like
hate those
a
arcs. Like they have to like do polar opposites as if like there's no middle in
हाँ.
things.
It's not like, do you remember that movie? I don't know if we did it on the podcast. That movie in which there are two women, one loses her husband and then the mother-in-law becomes a little weird and there is a flood happening. The Malayalam movie.
I don't think so. I can't remember this movie at all.
Okay, I'm forgetting the name.
Hmm.
Anyway, so basically, like it felt like there are real people and that they have like wants and desires and needs and whatever and complex feelings because she doesn't like her husband. She's engaged in an affair and the mother-in-law becomes aware of that affair, but the guy that she's seeing is like a red flag. We know it, but she doesn't know it.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of stuff happening here. After like the first 5 minutes, you know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
एंड देन इट्स जस्ट अ टेस्ट ऑफ पेशेंस कि अच्छा ठीक है देयर नाउ वन एपिसोड खत्म होता है देन एक और एपिसोड शुरू होता है फिर वो एस्केलेट करते रहता है एंड देन यू लाइक ओके सो एट व्हाट पॉइंट will she snap out of it is
Yeah.
the only question.
Yeah, like just like dragging on for no reason. What I also didn't like is the fact that this movie is essentially about a woman trying to escape and from a man and sort of like build a life for herself, essentially, right? Like have your own viewpoints, do it for
Mm.
yourself kind of thing. Like that's what you're trying to push. And the final straw, like a final straw that breaks the camel's back is not herself. It's not like, oh, you disrespected me at my play, you didn't like say any good things, you made it about yourself. It's not about my job, it's not about this, like all of that. It's the fact that finally her father sees them and he goes berserk. And that's the thing that breaks her. I'm like, so a woman's breaking point is another man?
Yeah, among the many weird things that this movie
Yeah, that's
does,
such a
right? Because then
stupid misstep, right? If you're making a movie about individuality and the fact that people should live their own lives and have their own opinions and like build their own
Hmm.
moral center and whatever worldview, don't do
Hmm.
it for another man, no matter if it's your father.
I mean, if she needed like an external push, then वो तो उसको शुरू से मिल ही रहा था ना मतलब I don't know what changed. Like we don't really need to see the external push. We need to see the internal kind of transformation that makes her receptive to the external push.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So that we don't see. Like what has changed inside of her that she's now seeing what she wasn't seeing earlier.
Yeah, because like she goes through that, like her personal desires, everything is being crushed around her. Whatever she tries to do, like she really wanted to like do that art thing on the stage because she's never going to do
Hmm.
it. Like she refuses it. So like build it around those things that she's losing her sense of self. And I would be like, oh,
Hmm.
that's great because that's what the movie is about. But don't do
Hmm.
it for like entirely like, oh no, I accepted all of this. I caved in. She caves in after all of that, and she's like, no, 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 exams, it's not you.
Hmm.
And finally, she like what sets breaks her is like, oh no, my dad is upset, so we can't do this. Like, I need to wake
That
up.
said, I can imagine an audience that has only seen mainstream Telugu movies their entire life watching this and basically having their minds blown because it's not just I don't know about like real life stuff, but it's also like the film cinema ka response to real life stuff. The main character is I don't know if he's like a person that you would actually bump into, but he's definitely someone that we've seen on screen. So is the woman, right? So these are like archetypes more than people. And for an industry and culture that is so like rooted in misogyny, especially in cinema, like this could come across as radical, but like I don't know, like that's it, right? Like, a very
Yeah,
limited
that's
group
the
of
thing.
people
Like,
will.
it's because the point you've hit on is worth hitting on doesn't
Mm.
mean the approach you're taking or the way you're depicting makes it any more worthwhile.
Yeah, because the movie is about a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
Like that is the only layer it has. Like that,
Yeah.
the one thing it's about is the toxic
And
relationship.
it's like the worldview is fine. That it's like, oh my god, like the things this guy is doing that are absurd and crazy. Like he needs to stop. Like that's the only thing it is able to like actually hit on the right note. Which
Hmm.
most movies will just do the opposite, right? Oh no, he's so sweet. He's like all about you. Like he's devoting himself to you. That's what all
Yeah,
most Indian cinema views the male protagonist as, who keeps chasing the woman. At least, so this
I
movie is
think
able to see the lens is okay, but
the
everything
lens
else
is
is
okay.
not.
Execution is a little iffy. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's deliberate to kind of speak very directly to the audience that watches a Kabir Singh or Arjun Reddy or whatever nonsense, or if it's like that's just the sensibilities that we're dealing with. I don't know know that. But then I also thought that there is a way in which you could have kind of surprised audiences, but that would have required the movie to end on a little like shocking or provocative note. I watched this, I don't know, documentary series, one of those Netflix things. I'm forgetting the name. It was about a teenage girl who gets basically taken hostage in her own house by a jilted lover, like this much older guy who she'd been dating, who basically they had a breakup and the guy enters her house with like ammunition and weapons and says that I'm going to die. I don't care. I'm going to hold you here and let the world know that what you did to me was wrong. And basically there was like a siege for days when the police negotiated outside. The whole community has shown up outside the apartment building. All of that is happening. And then after a couple of days, like the news people are talking to the bystanders, and all the bystanders are like, but sacha pyar to hai na dekho, you know?
Which
And
is
then
essentially what is happening like with this the last third year, right? Like Vicky goes crazy because he's like, how dare you break up with me? Now I'm gonna make your life like hell forever. Not like for a few days and I'll get over it forever.
yeah, yeah. So it's fully like those, has to go in that direction where the guy wants to take revenge. But then in the documentary, which is based on a real life thing, the dude kills the girl, you know?
Mm. Which is
And then,
like there is enough movies about that in India too, because that is a reality here.
yeah, the acid फेंक देते हैं, ये कर देते हैं, वो
Yeah.
कर देते हैं. And that's when the public kind of realizes, oh, this was not love. This was like a deranged person
Yeah. Like what I also
doing.
not was okay with it is like when she's actually at her lowest, like just before that festival, and she's wiped away all of that on her door, and she finally like at basically could not be beyond anything at this point, and then she calls her dad again because she's like, please pick up. I hopefully like someone will pick me from this like life which is like right now completely shattered, and
Mhm.
he does finally pick up, and then he becomes an asshole on the call, complete call, does not like care what she's going through, does not even ask. Basically, victim blames the entire time, fully misogynistic, chauvinistic, and says, "Do not like speak to me ever again." Right?
But is that deliberate? Is the movie also saying like she's grown up in that environment where the person, or is that just
No, no, I get that. Like, if you want to portray the characters, like fully on board, like like parents, and there are enough like fathers like this in India. I'm sure, like honor killing is a thing in India for
Hmm.
one reason. After all, what I don't get then is that she flips. Right? That's basically like what like pushes her into like crazy territory,
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
which is why she does what she does for the next 10 minutes. But then in the epilogue, without telling us what happened, she's calling the dad again.
Hmm.
And I'm like, what is this? That's the thing, right? Our country, I feel like, is built around women catering to men. That is the sad reality of like women
Which
getting
is why
over it.
I'm wondering if it was deliberate even, or if the movie is not even clocking that it's making this misstep.
Yeah,
I
Mickey's
don't
movie's
know.
not making that misstep at all. Like, I need a scene where the dad figures out what he's done is terrible, what he said on the call, and he apologizes. That he never happens. The woman is expected to forgive the man automatically.
Yeah, I mean, it's going from one toxic relationship to another, right? Which
Yeah.
she had presumably been
So
in.
sure, Vicky is out of her life, but the dad is not. He is still that person. And I don't know if he's apologized or if they ever sat down, but she is checking on him about his heart condition and stuff. I'm like, no, why are you doing this?
Sequel. Sequel में होगा daddy issues,
The
and then
daughter.
the daughter. Yeah. Then the wife.
Yeah, like this is the reality of being a woman in India, right? You just like entire life, you just different decades of dealing with different toxic men.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're always like somebody else's wife, daughter, sister,
Exactly.
etc. You're not like Bhuma. इसका नाम Bhuma
Yep.
होना चाहिए था
Yeah,
picture
no, the
का.
final movie will be called Bhuma. After you have detached yourself from every man, you have finally become a cat lady, and you're like, screw all the Indian men. I am now Bhuma.
You have become, yeah, you have finally found who you are,
Yeah.
and you have become your
It will
own
take you
person.
70 years, and then you'll be like, oh my God, my life is over.
This is the greatest experiment in Indian cinema history. You're welcome. I mean,
Yeah, Rashmika should play this character like, the boyhood thing for like ages now.
every
Every
10
decade,
years.
she needs to make one movie about this.
Bhuma का क्या कर रही है अभी?
Then at the end of her, in 30 years, 40 years from now, I can be like, yes, Rashmika, now we can forget that you did Animal and justified it.
अरे तब तक उसने she must have done 15 animals more.
That is the sad reality about India is because we'll always have one girlfriend and we'll have 20 animals ratio
Yeah,
wise.
yeah. So overall, yeah, pretty. I understand why people are appreciating it. I appreciate. like you said, like I appreciate the sentiment, but I don't
Hmm.
appreciate like just the movie
Yeah, yeah.
making.
Like, this happens to me a lot of times. I remember this happened last year also. People keep crying every time that, that why do people keep giving money to terrible movies? Like, every year, if you look at the top grossing ones, the chart is filled with like Kantaras and Chavas and all of whatnot nonsense every year.
Mm,
Why does no one go watch independent cinema? And then they'll give you an example, right, of some independent cinema to watch that everyone's been ignoring. And then they'll
mhm.
die on a hill of a movie that is not even worth watching.
Yeah, 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 which is
So like
this.
last year was like it was Superbugger from Malegaon, and I'm like, no, please do not die on this hill.
Superboys or Malinga were it was this year, dude.
Oh, it was this year. Oh my god, it feels like forever ago. But okay, yeah, you're right. This was this year. Just very early this year.
No, last year was Lapata Ladies.
Yeah, I'm like, just stop dying on the hill of these movies, man. Like, you want to
Like
make
super
this argument,
glossy.
find at least
Uh,
some one better thing to like, like say make a video around Homebound. Don't make it around Supervisor Maligaon.
But Homebound is also apparently too on the nose for certain people, which is what I'm seeing online.
Oh my god, I'm over it.
I don't know where the camera zooms into the cracked heels of that lady. It was like, oh, it's a little too on the nose. I don't know. It's supposed to be that.
But yeah, like, please do not tell me that, we're watching the wrong movies and then mention the movies called Maligaon Girlfriend. No thanks.
Yeah, yeah. This is the same as what are underrated Indian movies for you, and somebody will say Tamasha or something. Like what?
Yeah, it's like a lacking, really, like really, really lacking things
Yeah,
to
yeah. This is
pick on. That's the
annoying
problem.
on a entirely different level.
Yeah.
Matlab, ultimately, the goal of this podcast is to just make us annoyed.
That I think we knew the moment we did like Dil Bechora as the first episode.
Rest in
But like
peace,
we
SSR.
started with the pandemic and we're like, I think that mind, the state of mind that will never leave us. We'll always be stuck there in that depression.
Uh,
Right, time to wrap it up.
yep.
Yeah, that's all for this episode of The Long Take. You can follow us on Facebook, Threads, YouTube, and Instagram at The Long Take Pod. You can write to us at thelongtakepod@gmail.com. Please leave us a rating and a review wherever this episode, and we will see you next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.